Testing, testing. Okay, I think we're live. I do believe we are live today. My microphone doesn't want to stay up, but that is fine. So, welcome back. We are streaming quite late today. I had a very nice snooze in bed. I think I was in bed for like 13 and a half hours, just having a nap. I really needed it. But yeah, we are back in Factorio land, back in Bob's Angels, and as the title says, we're finally going to be connecting up steel. So the first thing we're going to be doing this stream is hooking up the new steel coils, and not the iron coils yet, but we will have the iron coils available when we decide to switch over. But we're going to leave the existing system of iron running. Let's just get rid of all that iron ore. That'll get processed pretty quickly. And yeah, we're going to leave the iron running until this 96k patch runs out. And once that patch runs out, then we will completely shut down all of the iron and copper processing, and we will start to ship in copper, which we are making over here. We're waiting a fair bit for these guys to all get created, and also waiting. I should probably get... Okay, we do have trains, and they're waiting at the depot, so they're waiting for these guys to work. Ah, that's right, we forgot the fuel for these guys. So I did set up a fuel station here. And the other reason we don't have fuel now is because we're waiting for these fast bulk inserters to be created, which is fine. Okay, so let's get stuck into it then. We're going to leave these 4 belts as they are because we can reuse them, but obviously we will need to get rid of the balancer at the start because we do not want to be mixing all of those goods together. That would kind of suck. So I think I've got to keep the coils on this belt for a little while and then convert them into steel probably a bit later, probably where they're currently being, when we're currently creating steel. But I don't want to keep them as coils all the way up to the main base because that's a bit ridiculous. So I cut that off already. All right, that's good. But yeah, I also don't want to leave too much of these coils sort of on the belt. I'd prefer to get them cut over as soon as possible. But that, having said that, I think we may end up with 2 full belts of steel in the starter base. And the reason I say that is because we're going to need them for excuse me, got quite a bit of a cough this morning. For red belts, because red belts do need a ton, an absolute ton of steel. Alright, let's see if I can get these belts off. No, I'm trying to get the belts to be destroyed without the power poles on the same line. Doesn't look like it wants to do it. I thought maybe I could, but... Oh no, there we go. There we go. Okay. So all of that steel infrastructure no longer necessary anymore. But that's all good. And of course we've got... let's select that on again. Do some Control-C shenanigans. And we should be able to get rid of this iron ore in here. And yeah, what I actually might do is we'll have a yellow belt of steel coils coming in, and then we'll have a red belt of steel plate going out. Steel ingots, yeah, they're not really that useful at the moment anymore. Apparently I've got a whole bunch of steel gear wheels as well. Was I making something with those? I don't remember. Sapphirite ore. Let's go chuck that in. I'll have to be in the crusher. I always forget that I have long-handed inserters. And I think I've moved that magical chest. No, I didn't. I didn't move the magical chest. We can get rid of that. I got so much random crap in my inventory that I just need to... Why do I have so many big electric poles? I only want 50 and somehow I've got... Okay, let's clear out a bunch of this stuff. I really don't want to get rid of the steel gear wheels from my inventory. Because the problem is we've got no requester chest to actually retrieve them. So as soon as they go into the, like processed copper as well. Like how the hell did that get in there? Yeah, alright. That should be fine. The logistics bots can get rid of that stuff in slow time, and meanwhile we can start hooking up the belts. And yeah, we'll get steel going again, because we desperately need to get steel going again. I'm pretty sure this is where the stuff is uncoiled. 4 per second. And 4 per second requires some of these. And shift in, shift in. Okay. And that will be enough for a yellow belt for the time being. Look how easy that steel setup is. It's amazing. Can I build... Just need a green circuit. Because, yeah, they're pretty sure there's no Roboport coverage out here, so I'm going to have to go and build that myself, but... If all it needs is a green circuit, then that is not too bad. Jeez, how far away are green circuits? Look at this. I've got 300 yellow inserters. You know what? I'm gonna start putting 50 of these in there. Okay. Now, you are 4, 4, 4, and 4. So that should be a full belt. If it's not a full belt, I want to know why. Looks like it's a problem with these guys. So what we do here is... That kind of works out. It would actually be better to have these guys be like that. So you have a near and a far, and you have a far and a near. Okay, that way we've got absolutely 100% full coverage. And theoretically we could do 3 more of these belts, but we're not going to have the steel ingots to support it. Like this guy. Train 0 out of 2. I guess we got the default. I'm going to make this 60. We don't want to overwhelm this. I mean, Yeah, 60 is still enough, because... Yeah. But it definitely needs to be above 40. We can't just put 20 and have it work, because then the maths just doesn't work out. Alright. So, steel is back. Eventually, that'll get the bulk inserters going, which will fix up this, which will get copper ingots, which will fix up this, which will fix up this, which will fix up this, which will fix up everything. Now, we need some trains. I've got some trains. You guys are needed for copper wire coil. And full cargo, not full fuel. That would be annoying. There's the refuel station. There's the depot. And you can tell that it worked because that's beautiful. And then we just do the copper coil, copper sheet coil, full, empty, refuel, and depot. I mentioned this a couple of times before, but I did actually have a look at the possibility of making a completely logistics train network using vanilla. So you wouldn't have to select individual things for different trains, but it was a bit janky. There was always something that would happen. I think the main problem with doing it, excuse me, it's bloody cough. The main problem with doing it was, as soon as one train gets a request, you end up with like a lot of trains going over there. Because the problem is, like, let's say you've got one train that's got a request of 1, and you've got the priority. So you've got the requesting station has a limit of 1 because it only needs 1. So you say, okay, I need some of this good to be created. And then, so you have a whole bunch of trains that activate and go off to the providing station. The providing station has a limit of 5 because it's got tons of things. So you have 5 trains going over. And it's very, very difficult to tell the system you only want 1 train to go to that station because that station has a limit of 5. And every system that I looked at that actually solved that problem, they did it by using timers and stuff like that. So 1 train could only be sent off per second or blah, 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 blah. And it was janky. It was quite janky. So I really don't want to go and do that stuff. So I like this. This is kind of a good system. It's a bit more setup heavy, but in the long term, it's fine. And it won't become too painful in the long term because, of course, we have our wonderful little setup here. Hello? What's the deal with this? Crotinium and rubite. And iron ore and tin ore. Really? There's must be a ton of places requesting tin ore. Wow, we are really... Those fast bulk inserters are... We got 100 of the bloody things. Alright. I think I need to go over there and help these guys out. Obviously, they're suffering from lack of steel, but the problem is... yeah. The problem is our starter base mall sort of setup. Obviously, it just splits off steel wherever it needs to split off steel. And so roboports are one of the first places that get steel. And roboports eat steel like nobody's business. So 50% of the entire steel just gets shoved into roboports straight away. and there's not much left, and then a lot of the stuff is actually being built after solar panels as well, so that takes a lot more steel. So you end up with these guys, these fast bulk inserters, just having absolutely no steel left over. Luckily, we have a whole bunch of steel gear wheels just randomly in our inventory. And so that's less of a problem for us. We can just sit here and we can hand feed steel gear wheels into here, and that will alleviate a lot of the concern. But, so what's the plan for today? I mean, obviously the plan for today was to fix steel, and I think we've done that. I don't think we're going to get to the point where we need more than one. I mean, we might, when we go to red belts, yes, we'll need more than one steel. And then we need to worry about this, because this wonderful little base that we built that produces steel coils, it produces 1 cord. Yeah, molten steel multiplied by 10 and divided by 40. So it produces 1 quarter. Even if we upgrade this to a red belt, we'll still be producing only half a yellow belt. So theoretically right now, we're producing 1 full belt of steel from this thing. So if we want 2 full belts of steel, we're going to have to start upgrading some stuff to red belts. And ironically, to get red belts, we probably want a 2nd belt of steel. But anyway, that's a full belt of steel, and this is producing a full yellow belt of steel, so we'd have to upgrade all 4 of these to be red belts. Basically, to get 2 full belts of steel in the starter base, we would need to upgrade every single belt to be red belt on the chain that leads up to steel coils. But for now, we can continuously do a full belt of yellow, and we have actually built all of these to support red belts. All we need to do is upgrade the red belts. We don't need to build any more machines. The current number of machines we have will just automatically support red belts. So that's fine. Yeah, but if we have a look, 1 single fast transport belt is 8 steel plates. 1 underground is 40 steel plates. And 1 splitter is 28 steel plates, which is an incredibly impressive amount of steel. And yeah, so if we have a look here, like just all of the, that's not even all of the ore processing. So if we do all of the ore processing, that's 14k and 1,000 undergrounds. So that's like 40,000 steel. Just for the underground. And how much did we say? 8? 40,000 plus another 100,000. Easy. Which is a lot of steel. So, yeah. It's kind of... Alright. So what are we going to do this stream? I think what we're going to do is we're going to focus on wood. Circuits, I guess you'd say. Or maybe not. Because what I actually want to do is I want to leave these 3 stations free. And then I want to build... And I want to leave these 2 stations free as well. And then I want to start building circuits a bit further up. So what we do is straight here, here, and here. And then I gotta remember, station there, there, and there. If you just press Q when you're holding a blueprint, then it just instantly just gets rid of it. Okay, so that's really knocked up the amount of roboports that we require. Thankfully, the inserters are pretty much sorted out. Just got a few more left. I was still working on wood processing stuff, but I really don't care about that too much. That can take as long as it needs to take. But yeah. So my plan is leave these two spare for whatever. I'm not sure exactly what, but... And then these three up here will be for circuits. So it will be wooden boards, regular circuits, and then green circuits. And then in the middle on these three, we'll be building the electronic components. So stuff like solder and not electronic components, because they don't train very well. It's better to just build them on site, but stuff like tin copper wire. Let's actually have a look at what we need. So basic circuit boards just need wooden boards and copper wire. So we can build the wooden boards, and then right next to them we build the basic circuit boards, and they'll just take in our new wire coils, and that'll be awesome. Green takes wooden boards, solder, and basic electronic components. So carbon we already got. Tin copper wire. We can just get the tinned wire coil, which actually takes tin and copper. That's very interesting. I guess, does that mean that needs to be its own station? We definitely need a decent amount of tin plate, although I'm not sure if we need it for science or not. Later on, I'm not sure. We need it for, I mean, we need it for belts and stuff, but... I mean, we could make a combination station like we did for copper, where it does both. There's actually quite a lot of room here, to be honest. So maybe we just duplicate that, and we sneak in a couple of copper ingot stations as well, and then we can make basically the wire as well. Yeah, because what did we say here? Okay, so a tinned copper wire is strand casting machine, but it takes an extra input, so that's easy enough to do. And what did we say? And then we just need solder. So maybe we'll start to look at those. We'll finish off the tin, we'll finish off the solder. Alright, so solder coils. That's just molten solder, which takes lead and tin ingots. Okay, so this will all just be one station. Alright, well we'll keep working on this stuff. We've already got a tin ingot station up and running. These guys slowly going. Got some coke here. We could probably make this carbon instead, to be honest. Although, no, wait. It does actually require coke. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, that's just waiting on inserters, but the inserters should all be on their way so far. We've definitely built them all. And have we looks like we've actually built all of these accumulators as well. All the accumulators are done. Some of them are unpowered. Did I mess this up? I think I messed this up. It barely can't reach these guys. You know what? I'm just going to pretend I didn't see that. I don't want to deal with that at the moment. I feel like we need to get roboports a bit of a boost. Hopefully we won't need to boost too much anymore, because yeah, I really feel like just one. I do this. No, that doesn't do what I want it to. feel like we need to get a bit more steel up there. Not that we have more steel. We're already sending half a full belt of steel up here. So theoretically, I mean, what is this guy doing? So 1.5 steel per second, but then this one takes 7.5, and these guys take 1, and this guy takes 3. So all of these together could use up a full belt of steel if they really wanted to. That is, I guess we'll just have to keep letting him run slow, because I cannot afford to give this guy a full belt of steel, because then all the other stuff will just fall over. It does have 10 in there at the moment, so you know what? It's not doing too badly. It's not doing too badly. We'll just let it running as it is. We won't give it any more steel. Okay, so let's have a look at lead. We haven't got any red stuff yet. I have set up the station, and it's just, well, what's going on here? Train limit 0 out of 5. Okay, so it does have a limit of 5. So we just need a bunch of those trains. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank God we never seem to have trouble placing trains. The trains always get filled out fairly quickly. Alright, so that's the red stuff done. So we'll focus on tin for now, because lead, well, we'll start making the lead station, actually. Although it's just going to be similar to this. Actually, it's not, because lead ingots are a fair bit trickier. Okay. Let's get out of the map view, because you can't see all the recipes in map view. Please tell me my push to mute is actually working properly. Pretty sure it is, because I'm coughing like crazy today. Alright. Alright, lead ingot. Okay, so that takes carbon and oxygen. And it does spit out sulfur dioxide as a byproduct. Okay. So maybe, I'm not, we'll probably won't get all the way to the end of it, but I think solder and tin copper wire is going to be a good sort of goal for us today. And let's get a station going here. So that'll be our tin copper wire station. We've already got the lead station. Although solder I'll probably build in the middle. I'm not sure if I actually want to build it here. I might leave that one for lead. But yep, that's that. Those are just crushed. Okay, and then this one's already set up. Alright, let's go see if those trains have been created for you. So yes, they have. I could have sworn I already created... No, I guess I didn't. I guess I did not. Maybe I just imagined creating Rubite trains. Unload until full, and then unload until empty, refuel, and depot. And I haven't actually been doing it, but what you can do is you can just select the group. And it automatically gets everything. But to be honest, I think it's just easier to just shift click to copy and paste. But having the group is going to be easier in the long run. All right. So that will take care of this station entirely, except that it's low on mineral catalyst. But them's the breaks. I mean, mineral catalyst, what are you going to do? It's always going to be slow. Okay, so none of these belts are backing up. We're using all of them continuously. 4 full belts of crushed stone and 1 full belt of this stuff. That is one thing that I would really like to upgrade to red belts. Actually, those guys, because that would be insane. That would, I'm not sure if it would double my mineral catalyst, but Like, we got more than enough capability up here, I think. Although there are some... no, it's got a decent amount going in there. I'm not sure what this input priority splitter thing is. I'm not sure if we need that there. Not sure why that was there, but... I think they just copied from the other one. But yeah, if we upgrade these to red belts... because yeah, we got plenty of these cargo crushed stones. If we have a look... Yeah, we got 15 stations providing crushed stone at the moment. Although that will start to go down because these guys won't be pushing out as much crushed stone because we're not sending as much crushed stone because eventually all of these will start to shut down quite a bit. Yeah. Alright, we're not gonna quite pull the trigger on the red belts yet. Alright. So let's have a look. Let's make sure that tin is okay. Alright, tin looks okay. Looks a bit slow, but that's just because we're missing machines. The tin ingots are good. So we're going to have a tin station up here. It's going to take in a little bit of the copper as well as the tin. It's going to produce tinned wire coils, which take a little bit of copper ingots, and it's going to produce all good stuff. I'm not sure why the middle of the station is missing here. Okay. It's fine. It's all good. We'll just assume that one's going to be fine. Alright. And we're just waiting on... Okay, so these guys are filling up their first load. Alright, so iron ingots should be fine. They should be dealt with now. Once mineral catalyst comes along, which will not be for a while. Okay. Let's go ahead and start working on the iron thingamabob. Not iron ingots, lead ingots. Okay, lead ingots. And this is actually going to be quite interesting because... That is actually going to be quite interesting. We kind of need a... Do we need a spare station here? I forget. Yes, we do. To get rid of the sulfur dioxide, we need a spare station. Let's have a look at the ratios. There's 1-to-1 on lead oxide. That's 3-to-1. And then it's halving. So it is definitely producing 50% extra. It is producing 50% extra. But yeah, that is... And we don't need... We need carbon. So we do need a carbon station. But that is... That is annoying because we don't... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 1 for carbon. I mean, we could always steal this one. I mean, steel doesn't really require. 1... Although, I don't really want to because what we could do... No. See, I don't think we're ever going to need to because I was about to say we have another 4 iron ingots coming in and another 1 steel coming out, but no. By the time we need that, we're just going to upgrade to red belts and then blue belts and then so on and so forth. So yeah, alright. So let's get some stations going here. Unload carbon. Do need some carbon here. Pretty sure that's all we needed. Lead ore. Oxygen is fine. I think this is actually the first 3-step process we've had for an ingot so far. All the other ones have just been 2 steps. Yeah, but that's all. We need carbon, and then we just need a bunch of the other things. Okay. That's just going to be lead. Lead ore. Lead ore. And lead ore. And I'm not sure how much of this we actually need, but we will build the full 6 ingots because, I mean, we know we need lead for batteries, I think it was. And batteries are going to be important. And I'm sure we'll need lead for a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, we'll build as much as we can. And then we build in the cheeky little fluid load station over here. Remember, it's got to be a fluid load station for sulfur dioxide gas. And if you remember correctly, we already have... No, so here, my base is getting... No, it's not. It's over here. My base is getting too big for me. We've already got a station here that inputs sulfur dioxide and uses it as a process for some creating sulfuric acid, and it will actually prioritize the sulfur dioxide it gets out of the train over the sulfur dioxide it creates from processing sulfuric wastewater. So that is beautiful. And because I actually want this to run, I'm going to make that a 90. We'll get at least 1 load of the mineral catalyst in here so we can start producing some ore. And then we will see what happens. And oh, we've got these guys. So let's get some ore trains going. Lead ore. This list is going to become a bit of a pain at some point, but for now it's still okay. As long as I don't send the lead to the ore to the coal station or the coal to the lead station, we should be fine because they look very, very, very similar. Okay. Depots are still only half full. Alright, that's fine. At some point we'll probably need to build more of them, but that is fine. Look at all of these seed generators that haven't been built because we haven't done the trees yet. But, and look at these guys. These guys just take forever to build. Algae Farm 2 takes a whole bunch of... That takes a massive amount of bronze. Massive amount. How is our bronze doing anyway? Because I just had some janky little setup. It's still completely full. This janky little setup has been doing the work for a very long time. Alright. Yeah, I apologize for all those gaps in the broadcast. It is my cough. It is a very annoying cough, but... yeah. Oh, keep pressing the wrong button. Okay. I do dislike the fact that you can't just look at the recipes. Okay. So this setup, we should be able to just copy. I'll try and keep it lined up, so the third one from the bottom. Although this is a 3-step process, so we might actually want to put it over here somewhere. Yeah, you know what? I might want to put it over there. Just to give us some extra bit of room. Change these over to lead. Ratio is the same, so we can just keep the same amount of machines. designed, of course, to support red belts when they come along. I don't know if I do this at the other stations, but I'm doing it here. I'm doing it here. Keep these nice and low so we've got room to send the other stuff over later. Ah, so many trees. Why are there always so many trees? That's a lot of undergrounds. Let's move that up a smidge. Okay, that's a bit better. What we could actually do is like this. There we go. Alright, so that is potentially 2 full red belts of lead, which is very nice. So what are we doing next? Next part of it is this lead oxide, which is created in a blast furnace. Oh, we're going to need a ton of blast furnaces for these guys. Ooh. Let's actually have a look at the ratio, because we could do some direct insertion if we really wanted to. Save us from having to do some belts, but it depends on the ratio. Alright. Process lead. Yeah, look at that. 9 per second? Really? 9 per second. And then 9 per second. That seems like a huge amount. Are all these other guys producing 9 per second? They are producing 9 per second. Okay, that's quite a lot. Yeah, I mean, if we were doing it based on belts, each row is currently spitting out 3 of these guys. 3, that's insane. We need another 3 coming in just to do this. All right. Okay, so here's what we do. It's not going to... Because I'm in map view, it doesn't show me the recipe anymore. I'm going to take these. I'm going to see if we can get away with doing something like this. So put them in the middle. Yeah, the problem with direct insertion is you don't really have room for the goods anymore. Or maybe you do. All you do is do that. There's the long. That's some pretty crazy belt weaving, but it does work. And then maybe just put that over there. This does still need 3 per second, which means it needs 2 of these. But that's fine. We don't need the upgraded red belts. Oh, and it does actually need 2 of these guys. Two fast inserters. And then the actual inserters spinning out on the belt will be fine. Absolutely fine. Yeah. So let's delete that. And delete that. And delete that. All right. That looks like a proper build. So we got 2 4 red belts, which means each of these take 3. So we need... Hopefully that's enough space. It should be... Move it over a bit further to the right to give our output belts enough room to spread. 4, 6, 8, 10. Which I believe is... Yep, 10. Alright. And these guys just cuts across all the way over here. These guys... we're going to need to get carbon into the outside ones as well, because they do require fuel, of course, but that is fine. It's a little bit awkward. It's actually quite... It's quite annoying when that does that. At least we can do that, and then we can do that. Undergrounds galore. Oh, I haven't left myself enough room. We're gonna have to put undergrounds on these belts as well. And we're gonna have to do a janky little... Actually, no. The belt is actually gonna have to go out here. If we've got a... I mean, we could do Bob's inserters, shenanigans to make it work, but to be honest, I really don't want all these undergrounds going into the power pole, so we're just going to leave the belt going out wide. Hopefully, the Roboport doesn't give us too much grief. Doesn't look like it will. Actually, we don't even need... How much carbon does this... Well, this one doesn't require it. It just requires fuel. We can't quite make it. We still have to do a underground here. Now, I could have sworn there was a way to paste this so that it removes the ghost. I think you can do it if the belts are actually placed. But I don't think you can do it if they're ghosts, if there's ghosts there. Yeah. Annoying, annoying, annoying. I'm just gonna delete this entire belt over here and we'll just fix it up on the other side. Alright. So you just go like that. And there, and there. And on the other side, we'll do the same thing. And then we just drag the belt over. And I do love... Factorio seems to be one of the only games where you can actually drag a belt backwards and it still sorts itself out fine. Okay. So everything looks good here. Obviously, we need to wait for the bots to get their stuff together. But the fact that we already got the fast bulk inserters here, or our electricity is not looking good. We definitely got enough accumulators. Yeah, the steam power. We've just been expanding too fast, and our solar really hasn't been catching up with us. Surprisingly, alright, how much? We're doing 3 per second, and these guys take 1.8. Okay. Alright, so that deserves a better one. Do we have any? Well, I can just go over and place it myself because I am literally over there right now. Do I have any in my inventory? Just steel and green circuits. Oh, there we go. You got replaced. Beautiful. So we got 1.5k solar. So that'll increase it by, I don't know, 20%, 25, 30% our power will go up by. I'm not sure if that's really enough to help, to be honest. And we definitely do not want these things running slow, I guess I should say. Yeah, look at that. I mean, having said that, does that 500 megawatts include the accumulators recharging, or does it just include... I mean, if you have a look at the ratio, it's just roboports. It's literally just roboports. Maybe I shouldn't have built all those extra robots. I mean, we're up to 5,000 construction robots at the moment, and they are going ballistic. And we need them to go ballistic because we need them to be building, because we're expanding at such a huge rate. We are constantly expanding. And I don't want to have a stream that's just titled sitting around for 2 hours waiting for the bots to build solar panels and place them. But at the same time, I want to, you know, I don't want to be playing this offline and letting it run in the background. So, and I really don't want to be using coal for anything. I'm just gonna highlight these because this makes me feel better. This tab has been annoying me for like 10 episodes, so we're just gonna finish it off now. And what I'm thinking is we need some sort of interim power supply, whether it's absolutely laying down 200 steam engines and tapping the hell out of a bit of coal, or whether it's some sort of petroleum fuel source. I don't really know. We're not going to go for plutonium or uranium or something like that because we can't. First of all, it takes blue. Second of all, it takes... I mean, you can get nuclear, but by the time we get to blue, I think we'll... Well, let's have a look. Is it literally just this that's slowing it down? 4.5 per second. Literally might just be that. Pick up. Alright. Okay. Now it's a full half a belt, which is still only 7.5, but it should be enough. It should be just enough to keep all 4 of these guys running full speed. Because, yeah, they take 1.8, which is 7.2 total. If we're spitting out 7.5, then they're going to increase their rate of production. We could make these ones red as well, but then they wouldn't be able to keep up. It really does take... I didn't realize it took as much of these guys as it actually does, but apparently it does. Okay. Anyway, yeah, we're really overtaxing the power grid. Okay, let's take a step back. I know this menu is terrible for trying to find actual buildings, but we'll have a quick look. I thought for a sec that would produce power, but no. I don't know if there's any easy way to go through and figure out, okay, what actually produces energy. I'm just wondering if there's anything crazy like a gas power plant or something. Because, I mean, gas... No, that's cooling tower, electric boiler. No, that's definitely not what we want. Electric boilers are terrible. Nothing in there, nothing in there, nothing. There's probably nothing in here. Milling drum. That sounds very scary. I don't think there's too many options. I think you get to... I was just hoping, because in a lot of other mods, like... Okay. This burns stuff, but I'm assuming it's less... So it's a heat exchanger. So this one outputs 315 degrees. This one outputs 165. This one outputs... Well, I just built one of those by accident. So this one outputs 315 as well. So steam engine 2s. So we could use steam engine 2s. I'm not sure if there's a point, because steam engine 2s just means it's more power in a smaller blueprint. Burner electric generator, that's crap. Fluid burning generator. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. So this doesn't require steam or anything like that. It just generates electricity. And it takes fluid as an input. Okay. The question is, what fluids? Is there a way to tell what fluids actually have a fuel value? I mean, there's obviously some fluids that have a fuel value. Raw gas. Okay, crude oil has a fuel value. Multi-phase oil apparently does not. What I'd really like is... Where is it? Natural gas. Okay, natural gas. I don't think I'm tapping any natural gas. I have a feeling that natural gas would be one of those things that has a fuel value by default. And then what we can do is we can just whack down 100 of these fluid burning generators, tap a whole thing of natural gas, and then we'll just be on easy street. I don't have one of these, do I? Give me some steel. Please tell me this pump jack can tap natural gas. Might as well create one of these as well. Damn, that's a lot of steel. Why does everything take up so much steel in this bloody game? And bronze. Bronze is surprisingly useful. It's just like used in... I'm not going to say everything in a mall, but all of the stage 2 machines. Just, for some reason, they all just love using bronze. And then I think the stage 3 ones probably use Invar or something like that. Invar is another useless ingredient that isn't used for anything other than... Okay, that's a good starting sign. Thank God for long thingy-bobs. Where's my fluid burning generator? Alright. We got some natural gas. Does not appear to be doing anything. So I'm guessing natural gas. I really would love it if it was just... Right. If we go to fluid burning, I'm not sure, this probably won't help us, but... Fluid burning generator. Okay. Here, alright, so let's have a look here. Natural gas. Of course, it doesn't show. Okay, so we have to go all the way to bloody methane, ethane, and butane. We can burn all three of them, which is nice, but my god, that's a lot of processing. That's a lot of... And then gas condensates. You can burn some of them, but the base mineral oil... And we need to combine it with... Oh god. Why can't it just be easy? Alright, let's have a think here. Alright, let's go the other direction. Multi-phase oil. Alright. So crude oil? Yes. Sulfuric wastewater, we just throw out. Raw gas. We could turn the raw gas into NGL, which we could burn all of these. That's not a bad idea. And then the acid gas we would just throw away. Okay, so multi-phase oil is a bit better. Although this consumes fluid, okay? Alright, so consumes fluid. So the raw gas we turn into NGL, and then we turn into these. These are all gases. So I don't think we can put the gases into the fluid burning generator because they're gases. But, alright. So I think multi-phase oil, we take the crude oil, we convert it. So that's a one-step process. We throw away the wastewater and the raw gas. We put the fuel oil, the crude oil into here. Okay. That seems like a viable power source. So we don't have to completely rely on solar. So I'm not going to tap this one. Actually, we could tap that one because not really using it. And these guys are really not being... Is this backed up again? Oh, it's backed up in a good way. We got plenty of lubricant, plenty of plastic. Well, maybe not plenty of plastic. What's going on here? Oh, I could diagnose these systems. Oh, it's backed up in lubricant. Okay, that's fine. Can we burn lubricant? Base mineral oil. Probably not. Probably not burning this stuff. Alright. Okay. Is there another... We could do it over here. Set up a really nice little power station based on oil over there. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to start preparing that. We're not going to launch into it straight away, but we'll start preparing it. So, pump jacks, and then we need, what was it? It was oil and gas separation, wasn't it? Yeah, oil and gas separators. So we'll start making a bunch of these just in the background. And meanwhile, I'm not sure how many of these we'll need, but we'll say, let's make it a nice big power station. So let's say 20. 20 of these. Okay, got enough of those. Oh, surprisingly we need steel. Who would have thought? I don't think... So 36, that's 360. And then electronic circuits. So I don't pick up. How am I out of steel already? Oh, because I was... not calculating it correctly. Is it really? It doesn't need to go through a oil and gas separator multi-phase oil? No, you just pump it. For some reason I thought you needed the oil refinery first, because you always need the oil refinery first, but no, in this case. Alright. So, while I'm going around in the background, let's have a look at this stuff. Okay. We've got lead ore. That's beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and take this guy back down to 50. Don't need that too much anymore. That should be enough lead ore for us to do all our testing on. One more station needs lead ore, but that's fine. Some lead ore. And then here, we are simply waiting for oxygen. Okay. Which is good. But everything else is all going good. Tin. We've got some ingots coming out. What's the go here? Oh, we haven't got a fourth tin train coming in yet. But we still got some tin ingots coming in. And we got this place built up nicely, which is very nice. These are going to be built up nicely, which is very nice. And our power is actually looking okay again. But yeah, we're still going to work on some stuff here. So... Okay, let's get rid of all these trees. And let's start... And it's actually in the robo port connection, which is nice. Let's get basic, and basic. Maybe I'll build it down here, actually, which means it's a waste to destroy all those trees, but that's fine. All right. Okay, so we'll let that run for a little while. Lead ingots are kind of good. So these take 45 each. So 45 times 20 is 900. These take 15 each. So this is 75, 150, 300. Okay, so this is 300. And this one needs 900. That is some escalation. We're not building oxygen anywhere else, are we? I don't think so. I mean, we might be building it somewhere over here somewhere, but... Okay, well... Apparently this is 300. Yeah, that makes sense. And let's just double check this. 450... Yeah, that's 900. That is 900 oxygen. Okay, well... The good news is... We can just do it like this. Don't need that there. Don't need that there. And that's one. And then we just do 2. And then 3. And they're all completely self-contained units. And then our oxygen. This goes up to there. And goes up to there. What are you complaining about? Did I completely cut off the power to these guys? It'll come back eventually. These power poles will hook it all up eventually. But yeah, I did cut off these. Alright, well that will sort that out. And then what we need finally... might actually... So this is going to be... How far? We've got to go pretty far. Okay. And yes, I know it's a bit janky to have a station over here on a different thing, but we ran out for lead ingots. Lead ingots had just too much required. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're so close to getting some lead ingots, I can almost feel it. And we got tin pretty much ready to go. I'm not sure if we actually got a sulfur dioxide train. I have a feeling maybe we did. Maybe that's the first train that we ever built that's just sort of been sitting in our depot for like the entire game. Alright, this is going to look a little bit funky, but we can definitely make it work. Alright, and that will take a while, but that'll work out. Alright, so that is lead ingots done, and then solder we'll probably build over here somewhere, and we'll leave this for lead plates directly. I think solder is important enough that we don't want to mix lead plates and solder in the same station. We want it to have its own thing. Tin copper wire, I'm not so sure. We might just be able to mix that in there, but solder I think is important enough that it needs its own station. Oh, look at all of the wood these guys are pulling off me. As soon as we get a blue chest, I'm going to create a blue chest and make all these guys blue chests, and they're going to be requesting wood. And then these guys will only be inserting if it's less than a certain amount, and we're going to recycle the whole 78k that we've just got seeing the logistics network. But anyway, let's go over here. Haven't really created much there, so we can't really do much there. But let's create some more things that we're going to need. I don't... No, the pump jacks aren't in the logistics network yet, so I'll have to manually create them. Which we can do easily enough. Using all of this steel. So much steel is required. But a good 16 of that. Now the question is... That consumes 60 per second. Hold up a sec. You, multi-phase oil. Oh, God damn it. I didn't do my math. I didn't do my math before. This sucks. Okay. So here's the deal, right? We are producing 35 of this crude oil per second. And it gives us 350 kilojoules. This guy... Can't even click on it. He's going to produce bugger all power. He's going to produce nothing. You're going to get like 20 megawatts out of it or something like that. That's terrible. And I mean, what does crude oil turn into? No fuel value, little bit of fuel value, little bit of fuel value. Naphtha. I mean, we can get a bit more gases that have fuel value, but you know what? I'm not going to do it. It's going to give us like 30 megawatts of power. Oh, I mean, here's the thing, right? This guy produces 10 per second, which will give us about 7 of the crude. 7 of the, what is it? 7 of the crude oil. 7 per second. And we said we needed 60 to get 1.8 megawatts. So 7 is about 180. So each one of these pump jacks will give us approximately 180 kilowatts of power. Alright, should have done the math before, but clearly that is a terrible, awful waste of an idea that we're not going to do. Oh, that's disappointing, man. I mean, gas power is just crap. So, alright, so the only thing we really have is just expanding the hell out of steam power. And I mean, I got no issues with, like, we got 18 million worth of coal here. We got it on 2 trains. So rather than use these stupid multi-phase oil things, we could just have a train station here, pops off 2 train stations here that pop off coal, and a whole bunch of steam turbines. Having said that, we've already got 2 pretty much full coal belts going in here, and it's giving us 103 megawatts. And even if we upgrade these to better steam engines, it's just not going to work, because you upgrade it to better steam engines. It's not more efficient. It just uses coal faster. So yeah, 2 yellow belts equals just over 100 megawatts. 106 megawatts. 2 yellow belts equals 160 megawatts. And right now we've got, yeah, we need like another 500 megawatts. Which means we need 10 belts of coal. 10 belts of coal. That's not sustainable in any way. We'd have to tap like another 2 or 3 coal patches. What's this? Thermal water. I don't think you can turn thermal water into power, can you? No. Thermal water you can turn into basically, I mean, we could go and start messing with this algae. Get some... That is interesting, actually. Because we do have this stuff that produces algae. And algae, you can turn it into cellulose fiber, which you can then burn. That seems like a terrible idea. And then you can turn it into methanol, gas. What can you actually... Methanol? What can you actually put methanol in to burn it? Because it has a fuel value. But, I mean, I'm not sure what actually burns methanol. Alright, here, let's do a test over here. Let's take our fluid burning generator. Let's put some methanol in it. Because I think we are producing methanol over here already in this mess somewhere. So we'll see. We'll see if that builds. And then if we really want to, we could build some sort of green algae, cellulose, methanol mess. Butane. I mean, all of these would work. All of these produce a fuel value. Gas fractioning. Why are you not working? We gotta start kickstarting this machine. Crude oil. Of course. What am I doing here? It works. Okay. We shove in some gas, and it definitely does work. Alright. I still don't want to go down the route of messing around with all those gases, to be honest, because they're just... It's just incomprehensible mess. Like, I think we went down the natural gas. Yeah, you get raw gas, and then you turn it into NGL, and then you get these 3, and then... And it would probably be better, but still, it's still a mess. The other option is we go for nuclear and we just jerry-rig a blue science build together to get us nuclear. But I really don't want to do that. I mean, did have a look. We can't get efficiency modules yet. We just can't. They require... I mean, we've got them unlocked, but they require module contacts, which require silver. Silver is something that you get from sorting bobmonium chunks. So technically we could get that, but I mean, what are we going to do with efficiency modules? We chuck them in the miners, is basically what we would do. Okay, well, the grid is sort of slowing down a little bit because we're not building as much. But yeah, power. Okay, I think the best thing going forward is going to be just really firming up our solar build. It's like really building as many solar plants as possible. Whatever is slowing down our solar, we treat that as a 100% priority. Like, for example, green circuits are looking pretty dead. They're looking pretty dead because of tin. That's not good. Why is tin dead? Why is tin dead? Tin ore is dead because bobmonium is dead. Bobmonium is dead because we're just running low on bobmonium. We could put better mining drills, but that's not going to help too much. Yeah, it's just... I mean, a bunch of the tin is going to here, which is just producing solder. I didn't think we were using that much solder, but then again, you do need solder for green circuits, so... Yeah, it's just running low on all phases. But then again, I mean, we're getting pretty close to the point where we can switch over our tin plate to what we produce here. And that'll solve that problem. So just like the steel, we can just solve it a different way. What's going on here? Why do you guys not have power poles? Well, this got built pretty quickly, I've got to say. And we do have some nice lead ingots already coming out, which is nice. Just need this to be built, and then we've got the sulfur dioxide, which we don't have any trains for, actually. So let's go ahead and build a few of those. And technically, since that is a byproduct, I mean, it's going to be a priority use byproduct in sulfuric acid, but we're still going to back up on sulfuric acid pretty quickly. So we will probably need some sort of way of throwing out the sulfur dioxide. Let me do some quickers. 200 per second. All right, 200 per second, and these guys produce 40, so it's 900 per second. So that's 5. Okay, that's not too bad. All right, here's what we're gonna do. So 900 per second being spit out here. So we need to make sure we've got a... That's 1200 per second. Excellent. Then we put a petrochem. I'm going to put a few of them, actually. Just for the hell of it, just put a few of them. And then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move them a bit closer. And for each of them, 1... Can't connect to wire, really? Can't control a flare stack. Okay, I guess we just have another pump here then. Make sure we hook the pumps up to electricity. And this is if sulfur dioxide. greater than 175,000. So it'll prioritize sending the sulfur dioxide in this direction off to the station. It looks like it actually got a bit in it before it's sent off. But yeah, once this is full, it'll start building up in here and eventually it'll just get vented if there's too much of it. That is a thing of beauty. All right. Love to see that. So, yeah. Right now, I think we'll prioritize solar, and the best way to prioritize solar is to fix up tin. Which, where am I? What am I doing? Sulfur dioxide train. That's right. Get me some sulfur dioxide trains, please. That is sulfuric acid, I'm pretty sure. I hope it is. I hope we're not. With all sorts of weird fluids all over the place. So this one doesn't match this one anymore. I think there's like two different versions of Bob's. You know what? I'm going to try and find the different one because this one doesn't match the symbol of the station. Yeah, okay, beautiful. That's a lot better. And a lot less confusing. Okay. I still wish you could select like an entire group and just have them run. Alright. That's that done. So we're going to call lead ingots done at this point. I don't think there's anything else that we need to do to get them working. And then I'm not going to worry about lead plate at the moment. That'll go here, but incredibly low priority. Let's look at tin. Let's finish the episode off by doing some tin. And we can get tin plates and tin wire into the starter base. And that'll be awesome. Now, the question is, do we actually make tinned copper wire a separate station? It's a very interesting question. I feel like we are going to need a lot of tinned wire later on. So I'm not sure that one... I actually feel like I want to make this on a separate one. Yeah. Because let's have a look at the ratio here. We can't have a look at the ratio. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna make them combined at this point, and then we're just gonna see how it goes. So, molten tin, 3 to 30, 3 to 30, same. Tin sheet coil. Okay. 20 to 0.5, 20 to 0.5, 20 to 1, 10 and 10 to 1. Okay. Okay. So this design is not going to work because obviously the strand casting machines take different ones for the tinned copper wire. And we shifted those off center anyway, so we're not going to do that. We're going to do this. And again, that power pole is really winding me up. Unload station. Tin ingots. Where am I? What am I doing? And that's nickel. We definitely don't want... Why is tin so far down? I'm not sure. Should be the third on the page, but instead it's all the way down here. And then this is going to be copper. So 3 tin, 1 copper. Bit of a mess of a station, but it is what it is. And how the hell did that tree not get flagged for deletion? I have no idea. Somehow it was still existing even though those pipes were being placed. Okay. And then we're going to... Well, we can start off with this guy. Because that guy's basically going to be the same. And then on the other side, we'll do this guy. And we're going to have to meddle with the pipes. But we're going to give ourselves room to meddle with the pipes. Alright. So... And then, yes. Unlike copper, the tin sheet coils are actually quite important because we do seem to need a lot of them. Okay. What happened? Did I not get my... That's not working. I could have sworn I could just shift click and it would automatically place the water, but apparently not. That's okay. That is okay. All right. Seems to go a lot faster deleting stuff going down than going up. Okay. Alright. Done. And then horizontally flipped. That is correct. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right. There we go. That's the thing of beauty right there. So, station load. Tinned copper. Tinned wire coils and tin sheet coils. Speaking of coils, how is copper doing? Because I want to get the copper into the starter base sometime pretty soon. Because it was kind of, we already set up the stations for it at the start of the game. Let's have a look. Let's make this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And tin sheet coils, I might actually just leave because we're going to need a lot of them. All right. What's going on here? What happened to these inserters? I don't know. I have no idea what happened to those inserters, but you guys are okay? You guys are okay? Okay, that's fine. So it looks like we've actually got one of these. Yeah. We've got the copper wire coils. Already good. And now we're just waiting on the copper sheet coils, but that is actually very nice. It is very nice. Now let's have a double check here. 52k here. We do still have stereotype coming in. I kind of want to cut that off, to be honest. Kind of just want to completely destroy that. I mean, we've still got plenty of stereotype that we're currently using, but I just don't want to actually send it in. Right. Let's just cut that off there. Let this one run dry, and then we can slowly start to let the copper ore run dry. That copper ore is going to take ages to run dry, to be honest, but actually we may still want a little bit of copper ore. The only reason we want copper ore is for this ridiculous thing over there, but that can just... What we're going to do for iron ore for that one, I don't know. I don't really want to bring in a train for iron ore just for that stuff. Let's just do that. Let's just build up a whole bunch of them. It's kind of dodgy, isn't it? Meh, whatever. Anyway, the point is, tin is done. A little bit unpowered, but it's done. And once again, we're probably running out of power because we've got the bots doing too much. Actually, it's not looking too bad. It's not looking great, but it's not looking too bad. So, starting to run out of stations on this guy. We're gonna keep breaking convention a little bit. Well, there's not really any convention down here, but we're gonna set up another couple of stations. Bobmonium. Bloody Bobmonium. And these ones will really start to... we can start to get rid of these eventually. But there we go. These guys have already died out. That's a thing of beauty. Okay, so what's the go here? Lead. Got a bunch of that. Lead ingots. Pretty much done. We're just waiting for these. I could have sworn I put petrochem tanks, automated them. I could have sworn I did that. I may be wrong. Don't tell me it's one of those things where I automated them and then the recipe changed and now they're no longer automated. I think what I did was I automated the smaller tanks. And I thought I automated the big ones, but I never did. Steel pipe, yeah. I mean, I could just make them and then put them in the system. And that would be fine for now. But then again, the next time it happens, I'm going to be like, oh, I could have sworn I automated them. What a pain in the ass. But it is. Whatever. It is what it is. Let's go down and get some clay bricks. I still can't... I had such high hopes for that... for that gas power, for that oil-based power that we were going to use. And yeah, it just fell apart. I mean, 180 kilowatts per pump jack. That's... I must be doing the math wrong. Because a pump jack takes 90 kilowatts. I must be doing the math wrong. Or maybe there's some way of really... just... really going through and optimizing it and using it as much as possible and getting a lot of thing as possible, but I just couldn't see it. I mean, solar is the end game, but solar is just so painful to get. There go my little robots. That's been dead because of ore. This has been dead because of mineral catalyst. We are getting close to the point where we might want to... Let's have a look here. We've still got plenty of this crushed stone going on. Plenty of it. Mineral catalyst, I think, is becoming a rather big... Well, it's always been a big pain. It's like even a bigger pain than steel. And we already know, we already did the math, and we already know that we're not going to be able to support the mineral catalyst production that we want based purely off the crushed stone and the slag that we get from creating ores. So it's not a situation that sort of levels itself up. We're going to need extra mineral catalyst. And the way we get extra mineral catalyst is by creating mineral sludge using this recipe from crystal slurry. And then the crystal slurry we get from liquefying geodes along with throwing in a bunch of sulfuric acid, which I don't think is going to be too much of a problem because sulfuric acid we can basically create an unlimited amount of. And then we get the crystals from crushing these geodes, and then we get the geodes from here, I think. Somewhere around here. Ah, here it is. Yes. Washing for geodes, which takes heavy mud water. So we could have a huge setup, produces a ton of these geodes, and then we turn them into crystal seedlings and crystal slurry and mineral catalyst. And the important thing about that is we can create as many of those as we want. It's a system that spits out mineral catalyst and doesn't take any inputs. It takes sulfuric acid. Okay, so it does take one input. It actually takes a decent amount of sulfuric acid, but yeah. But it does spit out sulfuric wastewater as well. Don't forget that. So it is probably a net zero, but creating mineral, it should be fine. It should absolutely 100% be fine. So we may start looking into that next episode, because these are going to start to trail off as we start to switch over to the mega base. And like if we have a look at our ores. Okay, let's have a look at our ores here. 0 out of 0. 0 out of 0. So that's for iron. Now, if it was really full, it would be 0 out of 5, but it's 0 out of 0. 0 out of... Okay, so tin has got a decent amount. 0 out of 4 and 0 out of 3. 0 out of 4. Okay, so it's all distance-based. My God. I know it's distance-based, but it just annoys me because the trains are always going to prefer the station that's closest, which means that we may end up with lead backing up on crushed stone, while the iron has 0 in it entirely. But anyway, what we would do is we would probably make this mineral catalyst station up here have a higher priority. So it always uses this one first, which means the crushed stone always gets used up first, and the slag always gets used up first. And once we change these 5 belts to red belts, then it'll get used up a lot quicker. But anyway, so that's another thing we could do. What is it? Control in. I already did that. Don't need that tree related stuff, so we're going to say crystals into mineral catalyst, wood boards, circuits, solder. I think that was it, right? in our immediate future, that was pretty much it. Because, yeah, basic electronic components, we've got both of those done. We just need solder now. And solder is not too hard. Can we got 15 minutes left. I'm not sure if I want to whack solder on there right now. It would go somewhere around here, one of these three. And then wooden boards. Actually, I need a third station over here, don't I? Let's get that started. And then station over here. Get that started. And that'll be for our wooden boards and circuits. Although it may make sense to build wooden boards here and then circuits up here. But I want to leave this row free. Because there's a lot of, like, early game, low-level goods that you kind of want to build here. Like, for example, this version of building ingots, right? There'll be some extra special way of producing ingots later on in the game that'll take something other than coke. Like, for example, don't do this to me, please. Iron ingots, right? The basic one, that's the one we're using. And then suddenly we got limestone that gives us an even more. And pellets. And pellets are just processed, but then you can do a fourth one, which takes iron hydroxide, which takes manganese oxide. So you do all these crazy efficient ways of making more efficient versions of iron, but they start to take more goods. So for example, we say, oh, we want the really efficient version. We need some limestone. How do we get limestone? Well, limestone is easy, but we need a station for it. Although in this case, I would probably just build limestone on site. And just get some washing plants, build some limestone on site. And then that's easy, but that's iron. So for copper and for God knows what else, we might need some things that we can't just build on site. And so leaving a few of these stations free, and maybe for crystal seedlings and stuff like that. I kind of like the idea of doing that, just to sort of be safe. The iron, I'm not too fussed about leaving these stations because they're just building metal, and we'll just keep moving out this direction if we want more stuff. And then as we go up here, I'm going to try not to go too wide, because we're doing circuits out here, we're doing ores out here, and metals. If we keep going wider for like aluminium and all this other sort of stuff, then I'm not sure what we'll actually go high on. Probably sciences and other weird stuff, but we will see how we go. I didn't put those in, did I? Okay, there you go. Go off and be free, little tanks. I'm sure this is all backed up. No, it's not actually backed up. Oh, because it's sending it off here. There's still got plenty of room in here. And this train. It's got some sulfur dioxide in here. And that is completely full now. So, yeah, that is a thing of beauty. Okay. I'd love to see some tin coming out here. I'd love to see some... We do have... Okay, we've got both the copper. So if I go back down to here... Yes, we do. We do have all of that stuff on the belt now. And... What am I... Is that... Is not. It's definitely not within the row report. I'm going to go over. Where is it? Ah, here it is. Programmable speaker. I'm going to put a speaker on there. And that speaker is going to tell me when the thingamabob is actually done. So when the iron is completely wiped out, or the sapphirite, I should say, when the sapphirite patch is completely wiped out. And once that's completely wiped out, then I'll go in and I'll switch over these iron belts to use the actual iron coils, and we should be good. But I still want to keep it going for a while. And as for the copper, I don't know, because we're no longer sending copper plates up the belt. We're going to be sending wire coils up the belt, which makes it a little bit interesting. Okay. This is close enough to the middle. Read entire resource patch. The interesting thing is if this runs out before this runs out, what we'll do is we'll link a few of these up. Right now there's probably 91k. It's reading way too much because it's adding in the amount from the different ones. And now it should be, yeah. So we're just going to say if it is equals 0, show Sapphirite alert, and do not play a sound because I don't want sudden sounds going off in this game. But that should be enough. This, I mean, these ones should be wiped out way before these ones are wiped out. Alright. If we really wanted to make it go faster, we could put some faster drills. Kind of tempted to do that actually. Make it a little bit faster. I don't have enough of the good mining drills to make it that much faster, but I can make it a little bit faster. Ooh, large ones. Okay, interesting. Yes. Now, what are we going to do with the last 10 minutes of the stream? I'm not sure there's really much we can do. I think we want to do some error checking. This is the main station that I'm worried about, having errors. I mean, there's no tin ingots coming in. That's an error. Oh, we don't have a train for tin ingots. Okay, that would make sense then. Let's get a few trains for tin ingots. Oh, even with fast bulk inserters, it still takes ages to refuel these trains. One day we'll have rocket fuel, but don't even ask me how difficult it is to create rocket fuel in Bob's Angels. It's a whole mess. It's a massive. Yeah, where is it? Rocket fuel. Yeah, it takes a rocket oxidizer, which takes nitric acid and dinitrogen tetroxide gas. And then you also need the rocket fuel capsule, which takes dimethyl hydrazine gas and hydrazine gas. So you take two complicated gases, 3 complicated gases and 1 complicated acid, and then you combine them together to get rocket fuel. And that's just 1 rocket fuel from all of those guys. So yeah, it's not fun. And I think, can you even get nuclear fuel? Yeah, nuclear fuel still takes rocket fuel. And you can also get plutonium and fusion nuclear fuel. And the plutonium gives you a bit more vehicle, but the fusion doesn't give you any over the plutonium. Anyway, whatever. We can't program them until they've actually been placed. That's a pain in the butt. We've got plenty of robots though. Plenty of robots. Really need to get to blue science so we can get some robot speed and robot carrying capacity. There is research for blue science to get carrying capacity up by 1, and since it's only 1 at the moment, it's basically doubling a robot speed without actually changing the robot speed. What was this waiting on again? I forgot. Oh yeah, tin ingots. And we need to replace that. And replace that. Because sometimes it just doesn't actually put water in the pipes. If the pump gets placed down before the water fill gets placed down, then yeah, it doesn't put anything in the pipes. Alright. Those trains. I was about to say they should be good, and then I looked at the map and I was like, there's nothing there. Have they already left? No, they have not left. They just haven't been placed yet. Alright. Tin ingots all the way down here. Full, and then unload, empty, refuel, and depot. And it made a sound. I'm not sure if it actually worked, but it definitely made a sound. We're going to see when those trains get placed. These are not really that far away from here. They should have been placed easily. These bots are just so slow. Whose idea was it to start building a mega base with only red and green science and just go for it? I'm not sure that was a very good idea. It's definitely made everything take a lot longer. But then again, I can say I may be the only person in history to create a mega base with only red and green science and actually have it be workable. Yeah, well, it's maybe not the greatest idea, but all right, let's actually have a look. No, it didn't work. It did not work. You can't copy and paste when the train is still a ghost. You can't paste onto ghosts, apparently. Well, the good thing is we've pretty much built everything. Even roboports. Now, roboports, we're not missing roboports. We're building all the ones we can see. I think that's right. Yeah. But anyway, it'll be a nice way to finish off the video, to actually see some tin wire coils and tin sheet coils being produced. Yeah. And then lead will just go straight to solder. I don't think... Where are our lead plates here? They're right here. So yeah, as we said, they're used for batteries. And not really much else. Might not be anything else, actually. I don't think they're used for anything else. Really? Lead plates used for batteries, piercing round magazines, and then a whole bunch of crap that we can't build yet. Okay, yeah, so... And batteries I don't think are even used for blue science. No, they're only used... What the hell was that? Assembly machine 6. It somehow crammed 6 gears onto the top of that thing. Last time I played Bombs Angels, there wasn't even an assembly machine 6. There was just a 5. But anyway, moving on. I really want to get these trains going, but they just... What happened? Where'd the other train go? Did it just go off by itself? I don't remember starting it. Maybe when you set the schedule of a train and then the cargo wagon gets created, it automatically starts. That's interesting. Let's see if that happens here. Assuming a train actually gets put down, but I think it's worthwhile waiting for that to happen. That's a very interesting situation if it does happen. We'll copy this one over here anyway. Yeah, look at that. Automatically get started. Very interesting. I'm just going to watch this train. We're just going to finish off the episode by watching this train deliver some tin ingots, and then we'll see some of those tin wire coils and tin sheet coils get created. And then pretty much all we need to create is solder, and we're pretty much done with red and green signs. So potentially we could make red and green signs in the mega base next episode. Alright, I'm going to switch over to this train because this train has got much more stuff in it already. And yeah. Oh, it's riveting gameplay. But then again, we've been here for 2 hours, so it's okay to have very, very slow gameplay at the very end of the episode where we're just sitting here watching a train get loaded. It's... I don't know, I'm entertained, so hopefully you guys are entertained as well. It's just something about having a build be absolutely done, absolutely 100% all good, and not have to worry about it anymore. But yeah, mineral catalyst is absolutely killing our base, not having enough mineral catalyst at this point. But I will say, all of those rail blueprints that we built like 20 episodes ago, well, this is actually episode 18, so not 20 episodes. Actually, what is this episode? Is this episode 18? I can't remember. Is it episode 19? What's the tree? It's episode 18. Okay, so all those blueprints that we built like 10 episodes ago, none of them had a single problem. We built them in isolation, we designed them in isolation, and then we whack them down, and they haven't had a single problem yet. So I'm very happy about that, at least. That they've just all come good without needing to be tweaked in the slightest. And even all the... I mean, we did have to do a little bit of tweaking to some of these guys. And we did have to do a bit of tweaking to these blueprints, but before we put them into production, before we put them into actually being used by trains. But since we've actually just started spraying them down everywhere and had actual trains on them, we haven't had to change them, which is very nice. Alrighty. Bit of power problems here. Alright, so I guess we're not going to get any tin sheet coils, but these guys... we're going to have to wait for the water to be built. There's always something. There's always something. Okay, well this should be coming hopefully fairly soon. Can I build that a little bit nicer? Yeah, let's build that now. Alright. The point is, it does have all of the resources which it requires. And yeah. Oh, and there's the pump. There's the water, and there are the tinned wire coils. What a thing of beauty. And this is... So that should be able to fill up a red belt, which is nice. Okay, and we've got them in the right order. Yes, we do. Okay, so I think next episode is going to be solder, and then we're really going to be going back. I'm not sure how much of this stuff we're going to rip up, but clearly bobmonium is a problem. We've already seen that it's deeply affecting our tin, so we're going to have to deal with that. Now the problem is this silicon. We are still using silicon. Yeah, we're sending the silicon out here. We're using it for solar panels, so we can't just rip up tin entirely. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to send the tin sheets in, the tinned wire coils, and the solder and all that stuff. And we're going to... Basically what we're going to do is we're going to supplement whatever comes out here. And then we're going to keep these things switched on if we don't have enough silicon. So if the silicon gets below a certain point, then we're going to switch these back on and start using the bobmonium up. Or we could just let this run and let this bobmonium completely get itself wiped out. And then what we do for silicon after that, I'm not sure. Because we definitely don't want to run out of silicon. Because if we run out of silicon, we can't make solar panels anymore. And silicon is really... solar panels are really what our base is riding on at the moment. But I may have to do some offline work. Not actually building anything, but just doing some research. to figure out what the hell we can do about power, because we're just building too fast. We did a mega base before we had the power research to actually support it. So I think, well, once we get the green circuits back up and running, then we can really push our solar panel production. But I mean, if we have a look, when do we get the next? We get the next level of solar panels. They take aluminium and silver and advanced circuits, but they do produce, this one produces 90 and this one produces 60. So it's only 50% more, which I'm not sure is really worth it. There's not a robot. I mean, once we get robot efficiency, and we can also start to get advanced robots. Like this is 27 plus 9.45 moving consumption, 40 max consumption. Okay, so they do take more energy. They do actually take more energy, but they move a lot faster. And so if we upgrade to better robots, it's not going to improve our power needs. And if we increase the worker speed, I'm not sure if that actually increases their consumption either. I'm not really sure. It's something we're going to have to think about, whether we want to go to new robots. I think we need a better power system, better power solution. And it's either going to be really putting our nose to the grindstone and going for solar in a big way, or it's going to be just going nuclear, getting some nuclear going, or it's going to be some third option that I just don't know about at the moment, that we just haven't found, and I'll need to do some research to see if we can find it. But anyway, we've been going for a bit too long, so we're going to stop here. Thank you very much for watching. Next episode, feeding some more stuff into the starter base, and maybe going for red-green science, maybe going for crystal mineral catalyst, maybe going for power. I'm not really sure yet, but we'll see how we go. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys later.